You just tapped your phone against a little screen and $100 vanished from your life, and you felt nothing. No sting, no hesitation. A soft green check mark, a tiny buzz, and it was done. You were already walking away before the receipt finished printing. Now rewind 30 years. Same $100, but in cash. You open your wallet, you count out the bills, 1, 2, 3, $20 notes, and you physically hand them to a stranger. You watch your wallet get thinner. You feel the exact weight of what this thing costs, and somewhere in your chest there's a small, quiet flinch as the money leaves your hand. That flinch has a name. Psychologists call it the pain of paying. And here's the strange part. That little sting is not a bug. It's a feature. It's the closest thing your brain has to a spending break. A tiny ow that shows up right before you buy something, just big enough to make you pause and ask, wait, do I actually want this? The card doesn't make you richer. It just quietly switches that break off. You already feel this, even if you've never named it. It's why $100 in crisp cash feels heavy, almost hard to break. But $100 tapped from your phone feels like nothing at all. Same money, completely different feeling. And it's why the damage is so hard to see. A single painless tap costs you $4 for a coffee, $7 for a snack, $12 for the thing you didn't plan to buy. None of them hurt, none of them feel like a decision, but 100 invisible taps a month don't show up as one big shocking number. They show up as a bank balance that's somehow always lower than you expected, and you can never quite point to where it went. Sound familiar? You're not careless. You're not bad with money. You're playing against a system that was engineered and brilliantly with you to feel like nothing. So here's the real question. Is that just a vibe? A cute story we tell ourselves? Or is something measurable happening in your brain every time you choose tap instead of cash? The honest answer sits in between. Paying really does register as a kind of pain. And hiding that pain really does loosen your grip on money. But the effect is smaller and stranger than most money videos will tell you. Let's walk through what scientists have actually found. And then, the part nobody teaches you, 3 ways to turn the sting back on so your money stops quietly leaking out. Start with a simple idea that changed how economists think about spending. Every purchase, they realized, is really 2 feelings happening at once. There's the pleasure of getting the thing, and there's the pain of handing over the money. In 1998, 2 researchers, Drazen Prelec and George Lowenstein, called this double entry accounting. Like a little ledger in your head, pleasure on one side, pain on the other. Buy something, and both columns light up at the same moment. For most of your life, those 2 feelings arrive together, at the same counter, in the same 10 seconds. The cookie and the cost, the want and the ow, balanced. That balance is what kept your spending roughly honest. And that pain isn't just a metaphor. In 2007, a team from Stanford, Carnegie Mellon, and MIT put people inside a brain scanner and watched them shop, product by product, price by price. When someone saw a product they wanted, a reward region deep in the brain lit up, the nucleus accumbens, the same circuit that fires for anything you crave. But when they saw the price, especially a price that felt too high, a different region switched on. The insula, the same area that reacts to disgust, to a bad smell, to physical pain. Your buying decision is a tug-of-war between those 2. Want on one side, ow on the other. And the researchers found something remarkable. How much that ow region lit up actually predicted whether the person would walk away, before they'd even consciously decided. The scientists could watch the break working, in real time, on a screen. So paying, in a real sense, hurts a little. On purpose. That's the break. Now watch what different kinds of money do to that break. Cash is the most painful way to pay. And I mean that as a compliment. You see the exact amount. You count it. You hand it over. You watch it disappear. Every step makes the cost vivid and unavoidable. The break is fully on. A card breaks that chain. The number is abstract, just digits on a terminal. The actual payment happens later, on a statement you won't read for weeks. Buying and paying get pulled apart, and the pain gets pulled apart with them. The break goes soft. Psychologists have a word for this: transparency. Cash is high transparency money. You can see it, feel it, count it, watch it go. A card is lower, and the payment is decoupled. The fun of buying happens now, in bright light, while the pain of paying gets shipped off to a future version of you who has to open the statement. You get the pleasure today. Future, you gets the bill. And future, you never gets a vote. Casinos figured this out decades before the banks did. You don't gamble with money, you gamble with chips. Cheerful little plastic discs that feel like toys. Because the moment your money changes costume, it stops feeling like money. Nobody tosses $200 onto a table. But a stack of chips? Easy. Your credit card is doing the exact same costume trick every single day at every register you pass. And the evidence here is genuinely wild. Back in the late 90s, Prelec and his colleague Duncan Semester at MIT ran an auction for real tickets to a sold-out basketball game. Same tickets, same room, same rules. But half the bidders were told they'd pay in cash, and half were told they'd pay by credit card. If money were just money, the bids should have looked the same. They didn't. The card group didn't bid a little more. They bid up to 100% more, nearly double, for the exact same seats. Not because they were short on cash, the researchers checked that, simply because paying by card didn't hurt. The title of their paper says everything. Always leave home without it. It's not just big splurges either. In 2011, researchers tracked the actual grocery baskets of 1,000 households over 6 full months of real shopping. When people paid by card, their carts held noticeably more of the impulsive, unhealthy stuff. The chips, the cookies, the desserts, the things you grab in the last aisle without quite deciding to. Here's why that matters. Those purchases are exactly the ones your break exists for. Nobody impulse buys broccoli. The little pain of cash was quietly vetoing those grabs, one flinch at a time. Take the pain away, and the impulses walked right through the open gate. And tap to pay? Your phone? That's the most frictionless form yet. No card to pull out, no PIN, no receipt to sign. Just a wave and a buzz. Researchers rank it even lower in transparency than plastic. The most painless money ever invented, which is exactly why it can be the most expensive. Think about the last time you signed up for a free trial, tapped once, and then paid for it for a year without noticing. That's the same machine. One painless tap, and the money quietly walks out the door every month while you're looking the other way. The tap didn't just remove the effort of paying, it removed the moment where you might have said no. But here's where I have to be honest with you, because this is where most money videos oversell it. Yes, the effect is real, but it is not mind control. A large 2024 review pulled together 71 studies and nearly 400 separate results, and found the cashless effect is real, but small. A gentle nudge, not a hypnotic spell. And it's been shrinking over time, as cashless payment just becomes ordinary life instead of a novelty. In fact, one recent set of 4 careful experiments failed to find the classic credit card effect at all, a hint that the flashy, you'll spend twice as much version you see in headlines has been oversold. So let's be precise about what's actually happening. The card is not reaching into your brain and forcing your hand. It's doing something quieter and, honestly, sneakier. It's removing the tiny ow that used to make you stop and think, and then leaving the rest up to you. Not once. 100 small times a day, at every counter, in every app, on every checkout page. The card doesn't make you spend. It just deletes the pause that used to protect you. And 100 deleted pauses a day, every day, for years? That's not a nudge anymore. That's a lifestyle. One more thing before the fixes, because it matters. This is not an accident. Every checkout page that remembers your card, every buy now button, every one-tap upgrade, teams of very smart people built those, tested them, and kept the versions that made the payment feel smaller. The friction you're missing didn't fall out on its own. It was removed deliberately because your pause was costing them money. Which means putting it back is not paranoia. It's just taking your side of the table. So the fix isn't to cut up your cards and live in the past. Cards are convenient, safer to carry, and honestly not going anywhere. The goal isn't less convenience, it's to put the pause back on purpose, in the exact places your money leaks. And notice, none of this runs on willpower. You will not out-discipline a system that was carefully designed to feel like nothing. You beat it the same way it beats you, with design. 3 ways. First, bring back the pain where it counts. You don't need to feel the sting for your rent or your electric bill. Those are decided, unavoidable, and paying attention to them just stresses you out. The leaks are in the small, impulsive, it's basically free spending. The snacks, the treats, the one more thing at checkout. So put a wall of friction around just that. Pull out a fixed amount of cash for your discretionary week, and when it's gone, it's gone. You'll feel every goodbye, which is the whole point. Or if cash isn't realistic for you, route your fun spending through one small separate account you actually watch, and let yourself feel the balance drop. Either way, the rule is the same. Make the goodbye visible again. Second, add friction and add a number. The whole trick of tap to pay is that it's frictionless, so build your own friction back in. Turn off one-tap checkout. Delete the saved card from your favorite shopping app so buying takes 20 deliberate seconds of typing instead of 0. Those 20 seconds are your Insula's chance to show up to the meeting. And while it does, do one thing. Translate the price out of dollars and into your life. Not $40, but 2 hours of my day. Not $12 a month, but $144 a year for something I watched twice. That's the exchange rate the card is hiding from you. Let the sting arrive before the dopamine, not weeks later on a statement. Third, decide the number before you walk in. The pain of paying protects you best when you feel it once, up front, not spread invisibly across 1,000 painless taps you never notice. So set the amount before you open the app or enter the store. I'm spending 40 tonight and that's it. Say it before the store's lighting and music and layout start doing their work. Now the decision is made while your brake still works in a calm moment by the version of you who can still think, instead of in the checkout line where the card is doing everything it can to help you forget you're paying at all. And if you try just one of the three, make it the first. Feel the goodbye money for one single week. Most people who try it report the same strange thing. It's not that they spend dramatically less. It's that for the first time in years, they can feel themselves spending. The fog lifts, the leaks get names, and once you can see a leak, you barely need discipline to plug it, because that's the real story here. For most of human history, spending money came with a built-in warning light, a small, honest ache that said, slow down, this one matters. It wasn't there to ruin your fun. It was there to make sure the fun was worth it. The card didn't make you wealthier. It just unscrewed the bulb. Cash makes you feel the goodbye. The tap lets you skip it. And skipping the goodbye is exactly how the money slips away. So the next time your thumb is hovering over that little glowing pay, let it hurt. Just for a second. Just a little. That tiny ow was never your enemy. It was always trying to save you.